Hello.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm okay, you know. Still kind of thinking about what we've been talking about the past couple weeks. You said there'll come a day that it's harder to not have the conversation than to have it. It's just, I don't know how to have that conversation without it leading to a breakup. And I don't even know if I want to break up with her yet.
Well, what do you want to get out of the conversation if not a breakup?
I don't know, just to like feel seen more, but that sounds cliche. Like,
The cliches are cliche for a reason because they're all true.
I know, I feel like when I'm my fullest self, there's friction. And when she's her fullest self, there's friction. And somehow we've come to this place where we're like meeting in the middle, but I don't think either of us are being our fullest selves at all. What would I want to get from the conversation is, I don't know, some sort of movement where it's okay to be our fullest selves, but I don't know if that's a fixable issue.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit like you would be just asking her to be someone else. Let's do our 4 questions. What do you want?
I want to have permission, which is a weird word. I don't want to be punished for being my fullest self.
Well, then normally we'd say, who wants this? But that sounds like it's definitely you. That sounds like a basic human need to be yourself and be loved for who you are.
I feel like I'm living a double life a little bit. Again, another cliche, but that's how I feel. Like when I'm with my friends, I'm this version of myself, and then when I'm with her, I can feel me kind of, turn that off a little bit.
What I'm hearing is you don't want to pretend, and you feel like you're relegated to this role of pretending.
Yeah. And I do the same thing with her. I feel like when we're with her friends and she's her fullest self, it's like, oh, like this isn't the you that I thought.
I hear you saying the times that the relationship works is when you're both suppressing parts of yourselves.
Yeah.
And do you think that that actually works? Or do you think that that's also you pretending that it's working?
I think it's worked for a while, but I don't think it's sustainable.
Sometimes we call something love when it's actually a description of something more conditional that we settle for, the reward for performance. People take on this role to please their parents and end up in careers that make them unhappy, and I'm glad that you've avoided that, but I don't want to see you do it in your relationships.
Yeah, we've been talking about going to one of each other's apartments and just staying there for a while. And I just like, even when I think about that, like you always tell me to like think about my body language and listen to that. If I can't figure out what I'm feeling, I tense up thinking about that. Like, so I don't know, maybe I don't know.
What do you get out of being in this relationship?
I don't know. I mean, there's a comfort to it. Being able to come home at the end of the day and like she's there.
You could get a dog for that.
I know. I don't want her to like fill a slot in my life, but it's still nice. Like it's not all bad.
You've described rejecting her when she's her most authentic self. I know you obviously care for each other. Is this the best way that you can care for each other?
I don't know what the most loving thing to do would be.
It sounds like the way to make the relationship work is for you to both pretend to be different people and just stay in it forever. The key is, right, what are you going to do about it and when? What you want is to be your authentic self. That's not something that you've been brainwashed to want. That's an essential human need, just like air, food, shelter.
Yeah.
You have to do something about it. The question is what and when. Are you seeing each other today?
Yeah, I'm going over to her place tonight. I could just say, I don't know if I see this long term. What do you want to do? But softer, I don't know. Like,
well, the core issue is you don't feel like you can be yourself.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a good place to start.
It's just going to be hard if we break up.
I think starting to have an open and honest conversation will lead you where you need to end up.
Yeah. I kick myself sometimes because it's like, it's almost been 3 years, you know? And a lot of the arguments have been resolved because I'm like, well, why would I give up on it now? We've already been together for 2.5 years. Like,
no, it seems much better to wait until you're 7 years in and fed up to then really throw in the towel.
I know, and I have friends that are like in 6-year-long relationships and they're expressing to me it's not working out, especially since COVID. And I don't want to be there.
You're doing a good job.
Thanks.
You're being respectful to both of you.
I know. Just doesn't feel that way right now.
Mm-hmm.